Hey now, everybody, it's Pete here, Green Newfie Channel. We're on Kombucha Part 2. So I thought I'd come down into the bar just to show you the setup. So what we've done so far, we have made our first batch of tea. Um, when I made that batch, it was in a very, very large pot. So you don't, it's a lot easier making it in a smaller pot. And for the flavoring, you're not going to need near as much stuff to flavor it as you would a big batch like that. So just bear that in mind. So we boiled up the tea, we let it cool, we introduced it to the mother, and it's been sitting now for about a week. So what I wanted to show you, I've got one tap here that I keep full of kombucha at all time. And when you pour it out, you can see it's foamy on the top. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's a bazillion little bubbles just all bubbling up there. And that's all the probiotic action that you want for your gut, right? So what we're going to, so actually we have a couple of other taps here. So this is a kegerator, and you can buy these things at Costco or Sam's Club or Walmart or whatever. And I think they're like about $500. And this one's a double. It's got two taps right here, and then underneath you've got room for two cornies. So you could really have that filled up with two kombuchas or whatever else you want to put in there. So what we're going to do on this video, I thought for a minute. Oh my, look at all the Newfie flags. Here we go. Let me get all the Newfie flags. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love you, Newfoundland. Thing of beauty. 1, 2, 3. There's the 3 Newfie flags. So what we're going to do next is we are going to flavor. So we're going to rack off the kombucha from the big bucket and putting it into basically another bucket. So we're racking it from the primary into a fermenter is what they say. And then, so the fermenter is just a plastic bucket. And then we will put in the flavoring. We'll flavor it with whatever we want. And then we're going to let that sit. So I was going to finish off this video actually in 2 videos, but then I realized we actually really need to do 3 because there's 3 parts to the process. There's making the tea, and then you got to wait a week, and then you got to flavor the tea, and then you got to wait a week, and then you have to bottle or keg it. So I'm going to show you how to do both bottling and kegging. Kegging is very cool when you have it on tap at your house, but bottling is just as easy. So if you've got any glass bottles, and I think in my first video when I was sitting in my basement, I said that I store it in plastic bottles. I definitely do not store it in plastic bottles. I store it in glass bottles. And I would recommend you doing the same. So if you can get your hands on some glass bottles with a good tight seal, that's what you need. I mean, I've literally bought that many kombuchas in my life. I probably have 1,000 bottles that I've kept the whole time because I just put it back in the smaller bottles. And that works just as well also. So we will start phase 2, which is going to be flavoring. Once we do the flavoring, we're going to put it back into a fermenter, and we're just going to let it sit for another week because it's going to flavor the whole thing beautifully. And then from there, we are going to start on with step 3, which is bottling and kegging. And I'll show you how to do that. It's very simple. So here we go. Okay, so next step is flavoring. So you can flavor it with whatever you want, whatever tickles your fancy. I've got one here that I've just been sampling while I've been making this batch, and this has been flavored with blueberries. So it's a blueberry kombucha, and I've got that one on tap. So I was at the market the other day, and they had a case of mangoes on for like $10. So I said, all right, that sounds good. We had a pineapple in the fridge that we use for juicing anyway. So it's going to be a mango pineapple batch. I've never made mango and pineapple before, so it should be fun. There's the fermenter there, or just AKA plastic bucket. And you obviously don't have to make this much, but you can certainly ramp up the amount you can make if your SCOBY is big enough. So it is going to be a mango pineapple flavored kombucha. So here is my kombucha that I made about a week and a half ago. It's got the SCOBY inside, and it has a little tap valve. So what I'm going to do, this is ready now to be flavored. So I'm going to open up the valve. I need to get a downspout, I really do. That'll make it so much easier. But for now, I'm just going to fill up my secondary, and then I'm going to put in my mango and my pineapple. So I'll fill this up and I'll be back in a sec. Okie dokie, so I wound up with about 4 mangoes and half of a pineapple. And I've got it all chopped up. The trick is if you mush it up really fine, and when you go to filter it out at the end, if you have any kind of filter that you use, I use 3 different ones. Actually I've got it right here. So I've got a filter on the bottom, and then I've got a mesh screen in between, and then I pour into right here. So it's going 1, 2, 3 filters, and then into a container or into the keg directly. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take all this yummy fruit, and this goes right in the kombucha. And we'll take this pile right here, and in that goes as well. One piece left for me. Beautiful. This cover here goes on top, and that goes into a cool space for probably a week. So what I normally do is I'll take a Post-it and I'll write down pineapple, mango, today's date, and I'll put the cover on and I'll just let it sit in a room for about a week. After about a week, then we'll take it and rack it off, filter it out, and either put it in bottles or a keg.